This may seem like a standard 2-channel DJ mixer, but you can actually use it to control 4 decks at the same time. How is it possible? How does it work? And why it works the way it works? This is your boy 69Beats, and I'm here to show you how to use 4-deck control and the mashup functions of the Pioneer DJ's flagship battle mixer, the DJM-S11. Let's get into it. We can enter the control of decks 3 and 4 through the main menu of the touchscreen, and then we can switch between them on the top of the screen. In the basic view, we of course have the library browsing. We can browse through tracks using the browse knob on the mixer. We just gotta remember not to use the physical load button, because it will load the track onto deck number 1. We have to choose load on the touchscreen to load the track to deck 3 or 4. We have the sync button that will be useful for manipulating 4 tracks when we don't have full control on the turntables. We have a basic loop in here and cue point number 1. We also have silent cue and of course the play button. That was a little bit too loud, and if we are not cool with it, we can change the screen to a mixer screen. Here we can choose if decks 3 and 4 should work with the crossfader. We have the trim, and we also have the virtual up fader. The third screen to use is the hot cue screen, where we can access 8 cue points. You just gotta remember not to push those hot cues too fast. The fastest tempo that I managed to use those hot cues with was around 330 touches per minute, which is more than enough. And the last screen to use with decks 3 and 4 is the mashup screen. What hides in here is the most important and the most revolutionary thing about this mixer. The mashup screen will allow us to use the deck move function, which means we can drag the tracks that are playing on the turntables to an internal deck on the opposite side. Meaning, to deck number 3, which is on the left hand side, we will drag the track that is currently playing on the right hand side turntable. And to deck number 4, which is on the right hand side, we will drag the track from the left hand side turntable. But hold up for a second. Why does this thing work this way? The plain logic would suggest that if something is playing on the right hand side, it should stay on the right hand side. And same thing on the left side. Meaning that whatever is playing on deck number 2 should go to deck number 4, and whatever is playing on deck number 1 should go to deck number 3. But if you think about it, moving decks to the opposite side makes much more sense when creating mashups. And it will make even more sense when we get to know another revolutionary function, which is the dual deck control. The dual deck control will allow us to control both deck 1 and 3 at the same time with left hand side turntable and left hand side of the mixer, and controlling decks 2 and 4 with right hand side turntable and right hand side of the mixer. And now, going back to why we move decks to the opposite side. Let's see step by step how do we create a mashup. Let's load a beat to deck number 1. And naturally to that beat we can add some acapella. Let's sync it so we are sure that it plays in the same tempo.
All the people in a place to be, all the ladies in a place to be, all the fellas in a place to be, everybody in a place to be, all the people in a place to be.
And let's suppose this is a mashup that we created on the fly during a party. And now to glue these two things together, we cannot move deck number 2 to deck number 4 because it won't make any sense. This is why we move deck number 2 to deck number 3, and this will allow us to control that brand new mashup we just created on the left hand side of the mixer and left turntable.
people in a place to be, all the ladies in the place to be, all the fellas in the place to be, everybody in the place to be, all the people.
Now we enter the deck 3 screen. We use the deck move function to drag the acapella from deck number 2 to virtual deck number 3.
All the ladies in the place to be, all the fellas in the place to be, everybody in the place to be.
We click the dual deck function, and now we will be able to control both deck 1 and 3 at the same time using the left hand side of the mixer and left turntable.
All the people in a place to be, all the people in a place to be, people in a place to be, all the people in a place to be, all the people.
And now, for example, we can copy all that mashup to the other side using the instant double, maybe for some beat juggling.
People in a place to be, all the ladies in a place to be, all the people in a place to be, all the ladies in a place to be, all the people in a place to be, all the ladies in a place to be, all the people in a place to be, all the people in a place to be, people in a people in a place to be, all the ladies in a place to be, all the fellas.
Or we can add some new element to it.
In the place to be, people in a place to be, all the ladies in the place to be, all the fellas in the place to be, everybody in the place to be, all the people in the place to be, all the ladies in the place to be, all the fellas in the place to be, everybody in the place to be. People in a place to be, all the ladies in the place to be, all the fellas in the place to be.
And now that we finished playing with the mashup we created on decks number 1 and 3, we can disconnect the elements by turning dual deck off and by entering the screen of deck number 4 and using the deck move to drag the beat from deck number 1 to deck number 4. And now decks 3 and 4 are still playing and the turntables are left completely free to use for another elements. Let's go in here and unmute.
In a place to be, all the ladies.
Here instead the value of up fader was saved, so we have to move that up.
In a place to be, all the ladies in a place to be, all the.
And as you can see, both those decks are still playing, and the turntables are free to create some another mashup, for example, or maybe do some beat juggling under it, whatever you can think of.
Everybody in the place to be, all the people in a place to be, all the ladies in the place to be, all the fellas in the place to be, everybody in the place to be, all the people in the place to be, all the ladies in the place to be, all the fellas in the place to be, everybody in the place to be, all the people in the place to be, all the ladies in the place to be, all the fellas in the place to be, everybody in the place to be, all the people in the place to be, all the ladies in the place to be, all the fellas in the place to be, everybody in the place to be, all the people in the place to be, all the ladies in the place to be, all the fellas in the place to be, everybody in the place to be, all the people in the place to be, all the ladies in the place to be, all the fellas in the place to be, everybody in the place to be.
Etc, etc, etc. The possibilities are endless and they are only limited by the creativity of the user. You can watch how I put these features to work in my DJM-S11 practice video. I will leave the link in the description and at the end screen of this video. I hope this video helped you understand what you can do with 4-decks control and why it works the way it works, because it might seem a little bit confusing at the beginning, but when you think about it, it really makes a lot of sense and you can have great fun with it. As usual, if you have any further questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will answer as much as I can. Let me know if you dig these features as much as I do. I am 169% sure that I will be doing a lot of routines using it. Also, if you found this video helpful and you want me to make more of these, let me know by hitting that like button and subscribing to my channel so I can see how many of you are out there digging what I do. And if you have any DJ friends that you think should watch this, share the video with them so we can learn and push the DJing forward together. That was your boy 69 Beats, signing off. Peace!